Elon Musk is no stranger to making headlines, but few expected him to become a central figure in reimagining the U.S. federal government. Appointed by President Trump to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, informally called DOGE, Musk began his tenure wielding a literal chainsaw in a display of budget-slashing fervor. In a whirlwind of executive actions, DOGE targeted agencies like USAID, unleashing abrupt mass layoffs and reorganizations. A federal judge recently ruled that Musk's role in dismantling USAID likely violated the Constitution, citing the overreach of authority without proper Senate confirmation. Despite that legal blow, the practical outcome remains uncertain, as thousands of employees already lost their jobs with little or no warning. Observers fear the damage is done, with entire teams disbanded and key initiatives halted at the flick of Musk's managerial approach. The Trump administration defends these shakeups, arguing that the country has long been burdened by bloated bureaucracies that hamper efficiency. USAID's mission, largely focused on international development and humanitarian projects, was cast under suspicion of wasteful spending. Critics countered that the agency's abrupt closures hurt vital global aid programs, including HIV/AIDS treatments in places like South Africa. Under a February order, the White House suspended significant funds for South Africa, allegedly over race-based discriminatory laws tied to property expropriation. MPs worldwide called on Trump to reverse the order, emphasizing that cutting $80 billion in aid undermines critical health services and fosters international tension. Meanwhile, in Washington, another federal judge blocked DOGE from accessing sensitive Social Security records, calling it a fishing expedition. Musk's team claimed they needed that data to detect fraud, but the judge condemned the approach as excessive and lacking clear justification. For many, these court rulings illustrate a broader constitutional crisis, with Trump's administration repeatedly pushing the limits of executive power. Chief Justice John Roberts also weighed in on attempts to impeach a separate judge who ruled against the White House on deportations, calling such moves inappropriate responses to judicial decisions. The spectacle grows daily, as Musk appears to pivot between his roles at Tesla and the federal government, raising questions about his commitment to either. Some believe Musk's motivations revolve more around high-profile disruption than nuanced policymaking, especially given his reputation for daring and sometimes rash projects. At the U.S. Digital Service, longtime public servants described chaos after DOGE rebranded their office and began re-evaluating each employee in hasty 15-minute interviews. A wave of firings followed, executed via emails that locked staff out of their systems within minutes, prompting emotional departures and confusion. Those removed included experts who once modernized vital services like the free federal tax filing system, leaving critical programs in limbo. A few employees had their employment statuses reversed after legal scrutiny, but most remain dismissed, unsure if or when they can return. Supporters of Musk's approach claim it's a needed jolt to an entrenched bureaucracy, cut free from tedious protocols in favor of swift innovation. Yet those with insider knowledge argue that reckless turnover undermines the core functions of government, which rely on steady administration and institutional expertise. Amid these power plays, tensions mount between Congress and the White House, with some lawmakers demanding oversight hearings on the DOGE fiasco. Others, largely in Trump's political camp, praise the cost-cutting measures, unconcerned about the immediate fallout for agencies like USAID or the U.S. Digital Service. For foreign aid recipients, the sudden clampdowns are devastating, especially for programs supporting vulnerable populations across the globe. Even if the courts eventually reinstate these programs, advocates warn that lost time may prove costly to ongoing humanitarian missions. While Trump hails Musk's approach as revolutionary, many see it as governance by spectacle, overshadowing the delicate processes that keep government running. Talks of an appeal to the Supreme Court loom, with predictions that justices will be forced to define the limits of executive authority and questionable appointments. As the debate unfolds, the crisis extends beyond Beltway politics, impacting international relationships that hinge on U.S. developmental aid and cooperation. Back at home, the public grows divided. Some cheer the notion of a smaller government, while others lament the loss of safety nets they consider essential. Musk himself remains bullish, releasing statements that doggedly champion speed, efficiency, and disruption, an approach typical in Silicon Valley but less tested in federal agencies. Critics liken the chaos to a startup going, move fast and break things, except the breakage involves real-world consequences for countless people. Administration officials vow to keep cutting agencies they view as obsolete, insisting that states or private entities can manage many federal tasks more effectively. This approach has led to claims that the administration is removing oversight that once protected civil rights, environmental regulations, and vital public services. The legal community remains on edge, anticipating a wave of lawsuits challenging the constitutionality of Musk's sweeping authority. Some fear these legal battles may outlast the administration itself, leaving behind confusion and fragmentation within government. The abrupt changes even reach the Social Security Administration, though the judge's ruling offers a momentary reprieve from DOGE's expansive data collection. Meanwhile, employees who were let go describe their dismay at seeing years of dedicated public service dismissed in a matter of minutes. For many, it's not about resisting improvement, but questioning whether reckless speed undermines the very goals of efficiency. And for critics of the president's alliance with Musk, the entire episode has exposed a potential vulnerability. A single figure wielding immense influence outside the usual checks and balances. Neither the White House nor Musk shows signs of slowing, despite mounting judicial scrutiny and public backlash. Political analysts predict an ongoing standoff, with courts, Congress, and federal workers locked in a battle over the nature of government itself. Aid recipients abroad, from HIV patients in Africa to disaster-stricken regions elsewhere, may suffer the most from this upheaval. Supporters remain hopeful that once the dust settles, a leaner, more responsive government will emerge, though evidence of improved outcomes is scarce. For now, the only certainty is that these bold changes have sparked a national conversation about efficiency, accountability, and the limits of executive power. As each day unfolds, more controversies arise, overshadowing the administration's original promises of a straightforward, business-like government. Even Elon Musk might be reconsidering his role as Tesla's stock demands his attention, creating speculation he may soon depart the political arena. Yet if he departs now, critics worry the vacuum left behind may be too large for anyone to fill, especially after so many skilled professionals have been shown the door. In the end, the final chapter of this government shakeup remains unwritten, hinging on lawsuits, congressional action, and perhaps the next election cycle. But wherever it leads, the mark of Elon Musk on U.S. governance is unmistakable, fueling debate on whether one man's vision can truly reshape an entire bureaucracy.